Hello, everybody. We've still got people coming in at the moment, which is normal for webinars these days. Okay, give it another 30 seconds and I'll make a start. The plan is I'll be doing an introduction and overview of the workshop, and then we'll get into Q&A. And thanks to everybody for making the time to join us today. And we've got other people in the background waiting to get involved. Okay, so thanks everyone. So the Orlando Workshop 2025 Q&A webinar. Now the objectives here, really, just an introduction. The program overview, which I'll go through shortly using the website promotion material, which has got a lot of information there. I'll use that to go through the program as an overview. We've got Tom Hougaard has done a couple of short videos, which I'll introduce during that overview. Al Brooks himself will be joining us about 1 hour after the start at 10 a.m. in Pacific time. That's midday Eastern time. And then we've got Ali, Joseph, and we've got Brad coming in. And we've got one of our backstage helpers, Mike, involved as well. So on the workshop program overview, the workshop will have the meet and greet on the Friday. Now, just so people know, Al Brooks will be attending the event on the Friday. He flies in late, about 5 or 6 p.m. But he'll be at the meet and greet, all things flight-wise being okay, well before the end of that. Then during the workshop itself, we've got 8 presentations, 2 days of live trading, and altogether 4+ days of networking if you include the Friday afternoon. Several of us will be in the area working pretty early on Friday, so anybody that's in the hotel on Friday can come up and say hello and get involved, and I'll have a chat and networking as well. As far as bonuses, again, I'm going through this because I'm getting questions from people who have not read the actual promotional material on the website, which is the norm, but there we go. We're doing this Q&A webinar now, and we've got a BPA Basics webinar planned before the workshop, before the end of the month, actually, before the end of August. Some coaching sessions as advertised, some to catch up on last year. So there's going to be a series of coaching webinars, coaching sessions this month, and then after the live workshop, the live training workshop. And then at the end of the day, we'll have presentation and live trading videos available for those that attend the workshop. And then we'll go into questions and answers. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. So what I'll do now, I'll go into the promotion through the website promotion. This is obviously our website. But if you go to the blog, on the blog, I've got the introduction here for the Q&A webinar, and here on the event itself, we've got this pretty extensive post here. Now, I just want to spend a short time going through this and also introduce two of the Tom Hougaard videos we've got, and then we'll get on to the Q&A. We've got some Q&A already on the forum, which we'll go through. We've got 3 questions there when I looked 5 or 10 minutes ago. And then we're getting questions coming through on the comments here. So Brad is online as well in the background here, and Brad is going to help out and keep a check on the Q&A for me as well. And together we'll handle this, and then Ali can come in well, in fact, we can all come in once I've got over this overview and just pick up the Q&A as required. So thanks again for everybody for turning up. And there's still people coming in now. So that's pretty good. And we're also live streaming on YouTube. So those that are on YouTube will be listening to us as well. So anyway, let's just go through this quickly here and see what we've got. Now, I don't know if you've watched this video here. This is a promotional video which does give you a bit of a taste for what to expect. So I would just like to play it if that's okay. Okay, well, thank you. So there we go. That's the starting point. So the important thing is there was a typo on the original page that we put out. There was a typo referring to the early bird pricing here. In fact, we had the wrong date, but the early bird pricing ends at the end of August. So if you're interested in coming and you want to get the early bird price, please do get in before the end of this month. And of course, you can buy through here. Now, as far as the program goes, as I've said, we'll have a meet and greet on the Friday. This will be in the Legends Ballroom, which is downstairs. Those that have been to Orlando Florida Hotel before, the Florida Hotel and Conference Center, it's on the ground floor, on the right-hand side, behind the escalators or behind the check-in area. And we'll be there from midday onwards, or thereabouts anyway. So just if you do turn up, just come and say hello. And I will be there hopefully by about 7, no later than 8 o'clock, I would hope. Now on the first day for the workshop, we do have 4 presentations here. So registration at 8, we'll try and make an early start compared to last year and the year before, 30 minutes earlier. It should be okay. 9:30 we'll make a start, give some ground rules, and then we'll talk. And Al Brooks will come in at 10 o'clock, My Evolution as a Trader. And rather than go through price action as such, he's going to talk about his experience, his early years. He gets a lot of questions all the time on how he turned into a profitable trader. Some of that information is on the website, in the Ask Al videos and other places, and other places that you've been on his podcasts around the internet. And then Brad Wolf will be coming in at 11:30. And Brad, if you're there, I don't see your camera on at the moment. Did you want to say 5 minutes about what you were going to talk about?
Oops. Yeah, let me make sure. Richard, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so overall, the biggest thing I'm going to talk about is bridging the gap from decision making to market knowledge. And pretty much what that means is, I think one of the biggest challenges that people have is there's a lack of price action knowledge, but once they figure out some of that knowledge, there's a lack of thinking about it from a flowchart perspective. And so I'm going to walk people through in Orlando and hopefully allow them the opportunity to actually go through their own flowcharts. But basically, how would an individual take an idea and think about it in a flowchart method so that they think about it the same way every time? You know, if you look, there's something actually you can Google. It's called the OODA loop. And that's kind of the same mentality. And basically the OODA loop was created from the military used it, but it's basically observe, orient, decide, and act. And what I'm going to walk everyone through is thinking through their own version of the OODA loop with each trade that they go through. And so what that means is everyone knows the market's in a trend or a trading range, but how do you decide if it's in a trend, and how do you decide if it's in a trading range? And if you want to sort of weigh if this has ever affected you in the past, if you've ever had a period of time where you've done well and you're thinking a certain thought process, and then something happens and it shakes your thinking, part of the reason is you may have a valid trading approach, but all of a sudden you start thinking of step one, which is your process for thinking of trend or trading range, accidentally becomes step two. And you're thinking about the signal bar before you're thinking of step two before step one. And that flow chart gets out of order, and all of a sudden it's now not working for you. And so that's what I want everyone to think through, is a systematic approach to thinking towards a flow chart for every trading type, every trade that they have. And it's the same for market cycle, position size, really anything. So that is going to be what I'm going to talk about. And some extra things, but that's my goal would be to give everyone a chance to really build out their own version of the OODA loop for trading while they're there. So that's it.
Okay, thanks, Brad. Okay, so carrying on, we've got bridging the decision gap that Brad Wolf has been talking about, and then Tim Stout comes in after lunch. Tim Stout is traveling, sadly, so he's not been able to sort of join us today. And so, but there we go. He'll be talking about Fibonacci fairy tales, which is a very provocative, very interesting heading there. And then after the break in the afternoon, we've got Joseph Capo. Sorry if I got that name wrong, Joseph. But trading Bitcoin, we get lots of inquiries about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very hot, and Joseph writes the weekend reports on trading Bitcoin. And again, he can come in now and just say a few words about his presentation. Okay, Joseph.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me well, Richard?
Can't hear you, Joseph.
Thank you. So yes, I want to give a presentation where I want to do two parts of the presentation. The first part I want to dedicate it to this new generation of traders, the new cohort of traders that are coming into the world because of the crypto, because of the excitement that there is around crypto. So, and I want to talk about how to transfer to this day trading through Bitcoin, like we do nowadays. We are used to do in the S&P 500. And then I want to talk in a second part. I want to share some knowledge, because not most of attendees of the workshop are not intending to trade Bitcoin. So I want to add some value to them. So I want to share some signatures that can help anyone attending the workshop to have a better performance in their trading journey.
Okay, thanks, Joseph. Thanks so much. Okay, going back to this program here. On the second day, on the Sunday, again, we've got continued presentations in the workshop. We start off first with Tom Hougaard. Tom will be doing his Conscious Living, the Will to Act. This is really the basis for a new book that Tom is writing. And at the end of this day, we do have book signings for Al Brooks and for Tom Hougaard. So if you've got his existing book and Al's books, you can bring them along and get them signed at the end of the day. But this book is still in process of being written. Tom will talk about it. Tom is attending a wedding in Denmark today, so unfortunately he was not able to come and join us. But I have got the first of two videos where he talks a little bit about what he's going to do at the workshop. So hold on tight, and I'm going to fire up the first of Tom's 2-minute videos here.
Good morning, colleagues. I hope you can hear me. I'm sat down by the shore. I've just been for my morning ritual of a bath. It's pleasant at this time of the year. I think that's where my mental discipline comes from, because when you go into the sea in the dead of winter and there's ice on the sea, it's very different. I'm just gonna make a little pitch for Danish tourism here. It's a wonderful place. This is a part of Denmark called Northern Sealand. Anyway, I'm afraid that I wasn't able to participate in today's web seminar. One in my close family is getting married today, so I am preparing for attending a wedding. I hope to see you in Orlando. I very much look forward to teaching you how I go about my business of trading. What's going to be interesting for me is that I will be trading over 2 days, but it's over split times. So you're going to see me trade at a time period where I normally wouldn't trade. And so what I'm hoping to do on the Sunday before the Monday and Tuesday is I will very, very meticulously take you through what I'm going to trade. Then on the Monday and on the Tuesday, I will be trading, and I'll be trading big size. I'll be trading minimum 50 lots. And you are free to interrupt me and ask questions as I go about. So I'm going to make a very big deal out of making sure that everybody knows I'm in a trade and I will be managing that trade. And there's also a chance that you're going to see me enter multiple instruments, because if I'm bullish the Dow, I'm going to be bullish the S&P and the Nasdaq as well, most likely, and also the DAX and the FTSE. What I wanted to make sure that you know is that I am yours for the 4 days that we are in Orlando together. You have spent a hell of a lot of money to be there, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to get full value out of me. That means you can come up and ask me anything at any time that you want. Oh, I see I'm running out of video time. So I hope I got my message across to you. Bye-bye from not so sunny Denmark. I'll see you in Orlando. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks, Tom. Again, carrying on from here then, in the afternoon, Tim Fairweather, who's also on holiday this weekend, is not able to drop in. But we'll have Tim next weekend for the first of the coaching sessions that we're setting up this month. And then he's going to talk about hands-on trades review workshop, which is really the basis of the coaching as well. So it's going to be a prelude to sort of the coaching that we get into later in the year. On the final presentation for the day is myself, yours truly, doing a why the bleep do I keep making the same stupid mistake? And this, of course, is going to be, you can say, a trade in psychology. And I would say I'd hope it'd be a bit different to the normal one. I'm not going to talk about the usual pop psychology stuff. And I'm going to be talking about getting into things like our shadows, part psychology, and topics like that, which are pretty deep, as well as the very latest research on how we can actually get into our memory and reconsolidate, change our memories. And that's a really exciting bit of research. It's not just research, actually, it's been practically demonstrated now for 10 plus years. But like all new stuff, it takes time for the mainstream to absorb these concepts. So I'll be introducing that and giving you some good news on how to get inside your heads and make changes really at the basic memory level. So that's what that's all about. But when it comes to live trading, Monday, again, we've got 5 people, 5 traders this year. Al and Ali will start off here. Tom will come in after Ali. So this is the left-hand side. This will be left or right on the podium, whichever way it is. Left as far as Ali sitting, right, Ali, as for last year, on the right-hand side. And then at 1:30 here, Tim Stout will come in for 2.5 hours. And 2 o'clock, Al will come in for another 2 hours. And then a review of the trading day by Al. It's no good having everybody review the day. So Al can do his end of day sort of work. And then for the Tuesday, same pattern, left-hand side, alternating again between Tom and Al. And on the right-hand side here, Ali again to open it on the opening. Tim start for 2 hours, and I'll be there for 2 hours as well. So then I'll be opposite Al. So I might even be taking the opposite side of Al's trades, right? Not to worry. And there we go. Let's see how it goes. So that's the program. Now, in terms of Tom Hougaard, I just say he's got a second video, which is only just over 1.5 minutes long. I'm going to play that now because he's talking more about the trading and also the interaction that he expects and that we'd like to get involved in for this year's live trading. So the live trading this year will not be in the dark and quiet and very much, quite like it was last year. Al Brooks is going to talk a lot more. He wants it to be more interactive. And then, so listen to Tom's second video briefly.
Hi, my name is Tom Hougaard. I'm afraid I can't be with you today for today's web seminar. A very close family member is getting married, and I'm celebrating their wedding day with them. It's a marvelous occasion when two people decide to dedicate and devote their life together and spend it hand in hand. Many years ago, almost 25 years ago, I began the devotion to trading. And I look forward to showing you in Orlando what that has involved over the last 25 years. I want to give you a pledge because if you come to Orlando, you'll be spending a significant amount of money. And I can understand that if I'm up on stage trading, you would want to know what it is that I'm doing. So I want to tell you this. On the Saturday and the Sunday when I'll be speaking outside the market opening hours, I'll explain to you exactly what I'm going to do. I deploy something called situational analysis as opposed to traditional technical analysis. Yes, I still use price action. Of course, I only use price action. But my setups are very mechanical in nature. And that means I always know when I'm going to enter, under what conditions I'm going to enter, and which direction I'm going to trade. And so my pledge to you is that if I see you in Orlando for the 4 or 5 days that we are together, I am yours. You can come up and ask me anything at any point in time, and I will do my absolute best to make sure that you get full value out of the sizable investment that you have to deploy to attending the course, flying there, accommodation, and all the other things. It all adds up. So I want to make sure that when you leave on Tuesday night, that from my point of view, you got the absolute max out of me. Hope to see you. As again, I'm sorry I can't be with you today at the webinar, but I hope to see you in Orlando. You take care of yourself and stay strong. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, thanks. Well, we've got Ali here just to do a quick talk on his presentation on the Sunday, Understanding and Trading the Open. Hello, Ali. Welcome. Thanks. You're muted, Ali.
Oh, sorry about that. Thanks. Hi, Richard. Hello, everyone. The topic for my presentation is trading the open. And the reason I chose that topic is because for a number of years, I had a lot of difficulty understanding the opening time, the first couple of hours after the session opened. And therefore, my solution to that was just show up late. So I would come to my trading desk around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then start trading then. And the reason for that is, well, if you look at any chart, you will see that by about 11:30 to 12 p.m., there is a lot of information already on the chart, and predicting the afternoon or what type of a day the rest of the day is going to look like is a lot easier at that point. It took me quite some time to get past that stage and be able to systemize the necessary things for trading the open and understand them quite well to be able to have confidence in trading. And from where I am as a mentor, I see that a lot of people also have that problem. So I thought this is a great opportunity to pass on to you the things that I've found and the methods that I have put together that makes it straightforward and easy, and also systematic and data driven, supported by statistics, to help you, if you have that issue, get past that issue and be able to analyze the open really quickly and trade it effectively.
Okay, thanks, Ali.
Sure, no problem.
Good. So just finish off quickly here, then we'll get on to the Q&A soon. So again, I just please go to the website and read through this. I'm not going to read through it now. You can see what the workshop will look like. One of the questions we've got on the website forum yesterday is that people wanted to maybe differentiate, thinking that the trading was being in different rooms. It's all in one room, one large room. And as you can see, two large screens on the, let me just enlarge this. Two large screens, and then we're going to actually get even larger screens this year, and we're looking into possibly, hopefully, getting a high resolution video wall set up so that everybody can see, even those with poorer eyesight like me and other people will be able to see quite clearly at the back. In addition, we want to make an emphasis on closing in on the charts and seeing more of what the action is close up. So we've got testimonials from last year. And again, we've got 8 presenters, as I've already said. Quite a range of presentations. And then the bonuses, I don't need to go and spend any time much on this here now, but there's this webinar, another webinar to follow, and then some coaching to follow, and then these materials here. So the event summary, 8 presentations from all the 8 you've just been referred to, and then 3 and 4 dedicated to the live trading. And then, so there'll be 5 people trading on this time. Now, Tom Hougaard said he's going to trade large 50 lots. I might join him on 50 lots, but micro lots, perhaps 5 contracts or more, but we'll see how it goes. Just a joke, guys. But there you go. So that's the, if I come back to this here, that's the aim. We're coming to the questions and answers now. So we're ready for questions and answers. Let me just pop this up while I clean up. Whoops. There you go. Right, guys. There we go. There we go. Live. You can tell there's a question here. Is this live? Yeah, it certainly is live. You can tell from what I've hit the wrong buttons there. But so we're getting ready for Q&A now. So I'll just put everybody up on the screen and I'll just get rid of these. Let me just clear these things out of the way. Okay. And then I'll put Joseph up as well. And that's, yeah, we're there. Yes. Okay. So we're all live. And then, so now if I go to the comments, in fact, there's one other place on the website which I need to refer to. I'm just going to open it up now underneath the forum. Let me just find it here first and I'll share this quickly. So 1 second. Okay, now this is the forum, and there is actually a Q&A here. So if you've got questions either now or after this Q&A session, just you can drop them on the website forum here, and we'll open them up. So I'll deal with these ones first. So I'll go. This is the first one that came in yesterday. This one has still not been approved, so I'll open this one up, see what it says. Julian. Are we going to have some homework to do before the seminar to get ready? Let me approve this. I will answer these on the website after the event as well anyway, but we'll be answering these now. We're not planning homework other than what we call the back to basics or down to basics presentation to be done before the end of this month. So that is kind of like a review of the Brooks price action methodology. And for anybody who's a complete beginner, it's really a review on what you need to know in terms of how to benefit from, from the workshop. And so if anybody else wants to chime in, Brad or Ali or Joseph on that, you can do so. But I'll move on. I'll find the next question. Live trading presentation format. Can attendees use their own laptops to follow the live trading presentations during the workshop? I don't think it'd be possible to follow them on a projector screen. Well, we had problems last year with the Wi-Fi system and it didn't work as well as we intended. We are going to try and do something this year if we can, but we can't promise anything at the moment due to it's just a big issue. But the screens will be large. They'll be larger than last year, and they should be clear enough to see anyway. But so there'll be no need to follow on the laptop, we would hope. We'll clear that with the audio visual, the AV people, within the next 10 days, and then we can decide whether we need to do a push on supplying a Wi-Fi network in-house, as it were. So I'm waiting the next question. Well, they're coming in as I'm talking here, which is not so good. There are now this question is a bit misleading because they seem to think that we've got different rooms for different sessions. Everything is in one room. We will have a separate room for special purposes on the first floor, not on the ground floor or on the lobby level. But everything presentation wise and live trading will be in the same room. So managing trades when they don't work. Will there be an increased focus on managing trades when they don't work out during the live trading this year? Well, I can say sure. That's what we must commit to. We can't all be placing perfect trades at any time, so we will have to manage. So, as I say, it's going to be more interactive this year, and Al wants to spend time talking more.
Sorry, if I can talk about this.
Okay, Ali, thanks. Take over.
All right. So last year, I don't know if the person who's asking this question was there last year or not, but on the 2 days that I was trading, I had a number of trades that actually went wrong or went against me.
Yeah.
Two of them I was able to manage, scale in and get out, actually make money on those trades. And a couple of them I had to take a loss. And I fully explained the reasons why the trade was taken and how it was managed. So we would be doing the same thing this year as well. I mean, that just goes without saying, if you're showing how to trade, you have to show how the trade is managed as well.
Yeah, thanks, Ali. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. That is, yeah. So I don't know if this person was there last year or not. I've got no idea. And I think I'll open one more here because I don't want to be spending time here. Would you consider including the market behavior? Well, this is Ali again. Ali, these are your videos which are on your website. Yeah. I have had a couple of emails of people asking, how can I access them? And I have to refer them to you. But do you want to tackle that one?
All right. So we are using these videos for whoever was present in 2024. We haven't made them available to others at all, because I think there should be you know, a reason for people to attend these seminars or, you know, conferences. And one of the perks is actually being there live and being able to use the materials presented and, you know, network with others. I actually look forward to it very much myself. But if we take that advantage away, there would be no reason for somebody to attend, because they would know that they can have access to the recordings, you know, after the fact. So to keep that incentive in place, I'm afraid that we cannot do that. We cannot, you know, make the videos available.
Okay, thanks, Ali. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, no problem.
Are the rooms included in the price? Will there be recordings be available afterwards? The rooms are not included in the price. Again, this is we get emails where people just don't read the information that's available on the website. There is a link. Well, once you've bought the ticket to join us, you get a hotel booking link with a offer price on the hotel itself, and it's $135 plus tax per night, and that's the deal with the hotel. And yes, recordings will be available afterwards. Anybody that signs up for 2025 gets all the recordings except for what we just discussed with Ali for 2024 and 22, and so you're getting a good deal on recordings already. Last year, sadly, we messed up on the recordings of the live trading, and I have to take some responsibility for that. And we're going to make sure we do it properly this time and capture all the live trading. And we'll have a contractor involved to make sure it gets done. And then, yes, after a little bit of editing, that will be made available along with the presentations. And we're also considering recording the event as an event with a couple of cameras. And if that makes sense money-wise, when I say money-wise, whether we can get a good deal and a sensible price for doing that, we may add that on later. We haven't said we're going to do that yet, but that's something that we may consider, because people like to see, relive the event itself. So I think that's all for the website Q&A. I think we'll just see if there's one more here. Rooms and recording. Is that the one I've just talked about? This sounds like, looks like it's nothing to do with this. This is a typical question. It's like on Discord. People ask questions all over the place. This has got absolutely nothing to do with the, you know, with this Orlando live trading thread. So we'll just ignore that. So let's move on, and I'll stop sharing that. So now we're back to, as far as Q&A goes now, we'll use the comments. And just a reminder that in about 20 minutes time, Al Brooks will be dropping in. Al Brooks is babysitting. He's a grandfather now. He's babysitting in LA somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but he's going to be coming on with his mobile phone, and he's going to take questions if there are any questions for him specifically, or he'll just come in and say hello and the rest of it. But that'll be at midday in about 20 minutes time. So that's the only thing where if we do some Q&A now, I'll just interrupt when, you know, the people in the background here, all of us, all four of us here can see who's coming in. So we'll know when Al's coming in, and we'll let you know. So we've got quite a lot of questions here. So I put a question on YouTube earlier. There's a lot of Chinese messaging going on. And I've said, hi guys, English for Q&A, please, because all four of us here are not conversant in reading Chinese, unless there are some secret Chinese reading people here. I can speak some, but I can't read most of it. I read some of it. So let's just go down, and I'm scrolling down from the top. First, well, let me just, there we go. Will I get recordings for the presentations and live trading sessions? I've just answered that question, right? I think I don't need to answer that one again. Yes. It won't be a receive the file. It'll be an online, just like everything else for Brooks Trading Course and most trading courses these days. The technology is so good. It's online and it's reliable, and it'll be there. Now, again, there are questions here which are really trading questions. They're not questions about the Orlando the Orlando workshop. So the next one, I'm going to skip that. And Brad, if you can sort of overrule me at any time, Brad. You if I'm missing something, you jump in and take over. But
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at near the top now. Imad Hanati. Hi, Al. I want to know if it's good to scale into a winning position. You know, well, I'll flag that because that might be something for Al to answer, maybe. So I'll stick a flag on that. Encyclopedia of charts, that's nothing to do with us today, not here.
So Richard, again, about that last question.
Yeah.
I think if any of us take a trade that requires a scaling in, that would be explained. So
Yeah.
that just goes without saying.
Yeah, I think, again, I remember very clearly there were certainly trades which didn't work last year and the time before that, because that's trading.
Well, if you remember last year,
Yeah.
one of the techniques that I demonstrated during the live trading was actually trading counter trend using scaling in to win the trade.
Yeah.
When the probabilities for the trend side was not high. So if the trend is going to not go to a measured move, let's say, so it's going to test some price and bounce, the probabilities for taking a with trend trade is low.
Yeah.
So that means that stop and market orders are low probability trades, which means limit order counter trend trades are high probability. And when you take them, you also have to scale in. So I think the misconception here is that people think scaling in is just for recovering a trade that has gone bad. But realistically, limit order trading and scaling in that go hand in hand with each other are actually one of the most important entry techniques when you want to position yourself and take advantage of the probabilities when those probabilities are not good for stop and market trading. So we talked about it last year in good detail. In my presentations, there were several techniques that actually depended on limit order trading and scaling in. And during the trading day, it also was demonstrated I did take those kinds of trades, and I talked about them, and we're going to do the same this year as well.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ali. So again, I'm scanning through there's a lot of messages here which are not really questions on the. It's thanks Brad, thanks Richard, thanks Ali, hi Joseph, all the rest of it. They're not questions. Well, let me pop. This really follows on from what you're just talking about, Ali. Perhaps we can just comment on this because we are talking about price action anyway, and although we're doing a price action down to basics, which is what this kind of thing is more suited for, perhaps we can still address some of these here now. I want to know if it's good to scale into a winning position. If the answer is yes, should I consider each trade independent from the others? I'm only reading this out, by the way, because some of you guys out there will be on mobile phones and you won't be able to see what's on the screen. So with each trade having a different target, or should I set the same target for all of the scale trades? Do you want to pick
Yeah,
up, Brad?
no problem.
Ali?
So yes, you can trade in that manner. You can scale into a winning trade, obviously. But if you're a trend follower, for example, on a higher time frame, let's say you're buying a stock for your retirement portfolio and you're just trend following on daily charts, this is more appropriate for that kind of an environment. For day trading, a good majority of the days, and I mean more than 70% of days, are trading range days or trending trading range days, a variation of a trading range day regardless. And because of that, market reverses before it goes a long way. Therefore, adding to a winning trade is not really possible unless you can determine whether we are at one of those turning points that the market is starting a new market cycle, and that market cycle is not going to continue for more than one leg. Mm-hmm. Now, interestingly, the same analysis, the same skill set is required for intraday swing trading. So a lot of beginners, for example, say, I'm trying to swing trade and I'm not successful. What should I do? Well, the reason you're not successful is because you do not yet understand the differences that the market context makes for the same bar. A bar that looks exactly like the previous one, but they form in a different context, now has a greater opportunity of being the starting point of a swing, which means a 2 or 3-legged move. So in those cases, you can swing trade, you can trend follow even intraday, and adding to a winning position is a good idea. But in the majority of the cases, you don't have that. So adding, to a winning trade is actually not a good idea, because you add based on information that you have at the moment, and market usually has to do the opposite to encourage more trading. So what you will end up finding is that if you add to every single winning trade, you're actually not going to make money. So adding to a winning trade has a time and a place. And if you can identify, those situations, then it's actually a great idea. The second part of the question that talks about what size of profits to use for exits. Well, that also depends on what's your goals or what style of trading you're following. If you are following for example, swing trading methodology, you are more dependent on the structure and context of the chart rather than the size of the profit, because you're looking for price targets to be achieved and tested, and those price targets are different from one day to the next. And that's actually one of the challenges of swing trading intraday, because it adds a lot of complexity into the analysis, which is probably not suitable for a beginner. At that stage, you have to keep things very simple and straightforward. But if you're a scalper, I'm a scalper, profits are pretty much almost the same size. But the size could be varied based on how much volatility you have in the market. So for example, some of the days you have, a typical bar that has about 5 points in its range. And some other times you have the same typical bar have 20 points range. So you don't go by points, you go by volatility and adjust your profit targets to the environment that you're trading in. And the best way to do it is to use an average bar range. So if you measure the range of the past, let's say 7 to 10 bars, that's an average bar range, and it changes from time to time, but 7 to 10 bars is fairly short look back period. So you can actually look at the past few bars, see what the market has been doing, and use that as a reference for taking scalp profits.
Okay, thanks, Ali.
Sure.
Yeah, on this question, what I would say is if you look at the daily setups charts that we put up on the blog every day onto Brad's articles, in my case, and this is where I'll probably demonstrate, I would guess, in Orlando, is I don't add on to losers, and I will add on to winners. So once I've placed a trade on, let's say, looking at it as those daily setups, as we go up in a bull trend, there'll be a series of entry points. If you get in early, good, more profit. If you get in late, it gets more dangerous because you're getting near to resistance or you're getting near to measured moves or whatever. But I would go in first on the early, obviously as early as possible. And then if it's still moving and it's still adding up, I'll be adding on with each bar as it goes up. I use tick charts, but it's the same behavior. It's the same whether you use 5-minute charts or tick charts. So yes, I would be adding on in that sense. And then in terms of the profit target, I've already got the profit target in mind from the first time I place the trade, because I'm looking at, this is possibly a move up to a certain point. So some people would go in full size, but in my view, the market is, it's a 50-50. It doesn't matter how good the trade is. Things can change within milliseconds once you put a trade on, as you know. So in my case, I just go in low and add on. Anything to add there, Brad or Joseph? Okay. So this one here, the workshop will include exercise on decision making and mental preparation. Obviously, the answer to that is yes and yes. I think Brad and myself will be dealing with preparation, and Brad more on the decision making for sure. And I think Ali, of course, again, will be talking about decision making. And that's does that answer? Is that an adequate answer?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a simple question and a simple answer. Yes. Okay then.
Everything in trading is about decision making, right? Even when you're not doing anything, you're just sitting there and watching the chart, you're actually decision making. You're deciding whether I should start a new trade or
not. Yeah.
Or not. So it's like on every piece of information that's displayed in front of you, you're making a decision. So yeah.
Good. Thanks. Okay, I'm going down the comments. I've seen some effort to quantify price action. Are there any pointers for us to review that? I'm not sure. Again, that's not really relevant to the workshop, is it, or not?
Well, at least for my presentation, there would be a lot of that because, as you know, I'm actually a quantitative trader and I teach systematic trading. So whenever you teach systematic trading, you are basically teaching people how to measure everything. Without measurements, we cannot have a system. We cannot even start to think about the system. So my presentation is about trading the open, and part of the things that I'm going to be talking about is how do you measure probabilities during that fast period of the open first couple of hours. So at least in my case, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Okay then. So this is nothing to do with the workshop, but I'll give a quick answer because this is a very common question. People buy the books, the password in the books doesn't work. Wiley have changed the system. If you want the charts for any of Al's 4 books, they're all available on the website. If you go to the, let me just show you where it is. Ding, ding. 1, 2, I'm trying to find it here. Oh, bloody, where is it? I'm trying to find the... Okay, here it is. Learn to trade, and then down here to the books, and at the bottom of this page, you can download all the files. Okay, Matt? Again, let's try this. Al might be with us soon. Which time frame is best for scalping in Forex?
Yeah, I can answer that. I'd say the minimum, you want a minimum size, average bar size of 15 to 20 pips. I know Al says 10 pips, but I don't think most traders can get I think the cost is too expensive for most traders. And therefore 15 minute would be my smallest. Really 30 or 60 minute would be better.
Okay, got that. I don't see Rose in the list. Is she attending too? We don't know yet because Rose has got some problems back at home. She comes from Turkey, I think, as most of you know, and her mother has got involved in some trouble with property over there due to earthquake issues and stuff. And I'm only saying that because she's involved in legal issues, and she may or may not turn up. She hopes to turn up. If she doesn't turn up, I mean, in person, she'll come up at some time online like we are here now to sort of talk to everybody. But she's hoping to join us, and it's still too early to say that she can make it. Okay. Is there any chance you'll ever hold this event in Europe? I think yes, but the current plan is that I better say maybe, but that we would like to do another one early next year, 2026 in Singapore. So Singapore would be the next place to go, because there's a lot of people in China. We've got a lot of new Chinese members over the last year, an extremely high number of Chinese members, and for a lot of those, it makes more sense to be in the Asian region. So it'll be Singapore, most likely. After that, in terms of Europe, yes, looking at London or maybe Frankfurt, but that's some way off, and so it's too far off to say that it's going to happen for sure or not. But it may or may not happen. But most likely London, I guess, providing it doesn't get worse than what it is now, because it's a bit of a terrible state to be in at the moment, London. But we won't get into politics on this event here. It's not a nice place in some areas there. So other than that, we'll be in the nice place within London, but not until 2027, I don't think. Okay, just waiting on Al to pop in now. So need some more questions if anybody out there. Is there going to be a book sales in the event? No, we're not. We have thought about having book sales, but it's just a lot of, we are not, Wiley are responsible for the books, and Al doesn't really get much of a return on books in terms of, he doesn't have to get involved in marketing and all that stuff. It doesn't reflect what he might earn from his books. So it's not likely we're going to do that. We have thought about it, and I don't know, we can think about it again before. We've got a couple of months to go, but if we did bring some books, it would really just be convenience, and it wouldn't be many, maybe a couple of dozen, I would guess, because we don't want to be carrying books back and forwards as well, or back after having delivered. Well, yes, the workshop will likely be annual, yes, at the moment anyway. It is at the moment, give or take a few months. Is there any info on Tom's situational analysis? I'll ask Tom about this, and if so, I'll get it out. I've signed up on the mailing list and get that out to you. Does Richard trade BTC? No, I only trade the E-mini, the ES. That's all I trade. Joseph trades the BTC. I mean, I assume you're talking about Bitcoin there. But do you want to say? Actually,
yeah, sure.
There is a question that I got asked on our support portal the other day. Somebody said that. Oh, no, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with gold. But no, it's a similar question for Bitcoin. People are saying, what kind of Bitcoin should they trade? What instruments should they be looking for?
Yes, this is something that we will discuss on the presentation. It will be very focused on US traders, because I imagine that most of traders attending to the workshop will come from the USA. But I will be open to any time during the workshop days to discuss with anyone the options that, for example, we have in Europe, or I'm sure that those coincide with others that there are in other places in the world. And of course, we'll talk about the cost effectiveness and why nowadays. I am answering another question that I'm seeing on the commentary. It's from Saref that it says if it's possible to scalp on a 5 or a 15-minute chart of Bitcoin. Well, in most cryptos, I don't think so, because of how the market mechanics and the ease of execution, the depth of the market. But Bitcoin nowadays offer that quality of market to do what Brooks price action traders do in an E-mini chart or a DAX chart, or these high liquid markets. So we can do on Bitcoin nowadays. So this is the purpose probably of my presentation there. It is, hey, this methodology works for this new generation of traders that comes in. They are coming in because they have seen cryptocurrencies and trading on the internet and this and that, and we are going to talk seriously about that and what we can do in this business using our methodology and why.
Okay. A question here from David. How is it not confusing with two traders talking in the same room? Well, it works okay because the two traders, I mean, Ali can better answer this than me perhaps, but my experience by watching Ali and Al, they're quite respectful of each other, and they just glance side to side. They know what the other person's doing generally and make space. It's just like I was watching a Led Zeppelin documentary on Netflix earlier, and the bass player made a very good comment which applies. He says he's listening to the music, and when he stops playing to let the drummer come through. So it's the same thing. You're aware of the other person's trading, and so you allow that person to come out when it's the right time. Is that fair, Al?
I think so. And you also know how the other trader trades and how you trade. So when you're both of you are looking at the same chart, right?
Sure.
So you see the trades. Okay, so this is the trade that Al is going to take. So I'm going to not talk about it right now. And then this is not the trade that Al is going to take. So this is the trade that I'm going to be taking. So he's probably not going to be talking about it. And it's not a big deal if somebody, starts talking. You can just give them the time to finish and then continue. So it's not like I am talking irrespective of the other people who are on the stage. It's a teamwork.
Yeah.
And just one thing to add to that is being kind of someone that got to just see kind of up close watching both of their trades. As many of you that were there, you saw they were pretty much in the same trade, just at different times. Maybe one was 5 minutes earlier, one was 5 minutes later. Ali, you entered on a limit order. Al entered on a stop order. And so there's not the confusion of one person being long, one person being short. That'd probably be a pretty rare instance.
Yeah,
they were generally in the same direction every time.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, good. And then there's one for Brad here.
Yeah, it's the OODA, OODA, and it stands for Observe, Orient, Decide, Act. It's actually really, you should Google it. It's Colonel Boyd. After the Korean War, he studied why U.S. fighter pilots were outperforming in the Korean War, even though they had a less superior plane. They were fighting against, I believe, the F-15 or the MiG-15s. And what he noticed is the U.S. fighter pilots had a certain maneuverability training, and therefore they were out, even though they had a less superior product, they were slowly outperforming steps. And so every second they were a little bit faster, and that accumulated to them being more superior. And it's the same with trading. It's really the thought process. You can look at the same thing. They studied the same thing. And actually the military uses it in like close quarter combat, where if you look at, I was reading about this the other day, for instance, I think it's Navy SEALs or any special forces, when they're breaching close quarters, they have a certain process or standard operating procedure every time that keeps them all in sync. And that's what I'm going to talk a lot about, and how do you apply that with trading. But it's OODA, OODA loop.
OODA loop. Are you going to sell the recorded version? The quick answer is no, we're not really going to sell that. We'll think about this, because as Alice said right at the start, in 2022, we want the value to be live, in the room, networking, and we don't want to dilute the value of that event by giving out recordings to people at a lower price. So at this stage, no. And this is, can we take the same trades as the presenters, or is it just follow the trades? Well, that's basically the same thing in a way. Yeah, you can follow the trades, you can take the same trades, of course, and a lot of people do. we're setting up the room as per last year with a PowerPoint for everybody on the desk. So anybody who wants to put a laptop can run a laptop without any concerns. And the internet will be strong enough, good enough to do your internet work. But, you know, there's no guarantees of the internet, of course, even if you're anywhere else in the world. But that's trading again. That's make sure you.
And just one comment with that, I talked to several people even after the event, and the ones there was several people that are actually grateful that they brought like an iPad just to take notes, and they weren't tempted to trade. And they said if they were trying to trade and follow Alan Dowley at that time, they would have missed out on a lot of key things. And by just simply being observers, they were able to gather a lot more about the day and things that Alan Dowley said, rather than trying to think of how can I make money off what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point. You can really learn a lot by just, you know, being cognizant of all the details that goes into these trades.
Paying attention.
And paying attention to that, rather than trying to make, you know, maybe a few $100s. That few $100 doesn't, you know, go long or far enough, but your knowledge can go very far. So it's really best to enhance that knowledge rather than focusing on a small gain of that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I will make the same point in my presentation, actually. It's all about attention and focus.
There's also
not being distracted.
The other thing is that, and this happened actually last year when I was trading the second day, that I took a high probability trade, but the market went against my position, and I had to make a very quick decision to get out of that trade. It was very fast, and odds are, if you are taking the same entry, you would not be able as quick to get out of that trade because you're waiting for me to do something and then follow me. By the time you're out of that trade, your loss is going to be a lot bigger, which was the case last year. If you were there and you saw that trade, I exited the trade very quickly after I entered it, and then the market went, like it broke out and went a very long distance. So there's a danger there too. So it's not like just following the trade and you're going to be okay.
Okay, and Ali was talking about trend following and different forms of trading here. Just a quick one on this one for Eric. Is it possible to trade just small pullback bear trends? Thank you. Well, the answer is yes. You can trade, it's like the best trades. You can just wait for pullbacks. You can wait for breakouts. You can wait for trading range reversals and so on.
There's a problem with that, actually, Richard. And the problem is small pullback trends happen about 5% of the time.
A long wait,
Yeah. So if you think about a month, that is 21 days of trading, 21 working days. You're going to get one or maybe two small pullback trends from start to finish all day long. Now, having said that, because the market is in a trading range most of the time, the nature of price action inside trading ranges is vacuum moves. So market moves very quickly from support to resistance and then reverses. In going between those two prices, the legs that are produced a lot of the time are in tight channels, which is the same thing that you get in small pullback trends, only the momentum is different. So if your time horizon is entire day and you want to open a position in the morning and come back near the end of the session to close the position, you get that opportunity about 2 times a month on average. But if you are trading for exposure time of, let's say, 5 minutes to 30 minutes, then that opportunity exists intraday, usually a couple of times. So it depends really on what your time horizon and objectives are.
Good. Okay, there's a comment here which is naked promotion here from Lonnie. Thank you, Lonnie. I remember Lonnie from last year. Lonnie was there last year and enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. Captain, will there be a focus on fundamental analysis? If not, why does Al not focus on it? I know. Answer is no. There's no focus at all on fundamental analysis. It's price action trading.
Yeah, so I can add to that answer a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe add a different dimension to it. So this desk that I'm sitting at and talking to you right now actually belongs to an institutional trader who used to trade in this. This is my home office in the same room with me for several years, and he was one of my first students. In fact, he was very interested to learn price action or technical trading from me because he had a lot of problems with fundamental analysis and that style of trading. And I'm talking about a trader who has spent more than 30 years in the industry and was the head of trading teams for large banks. So he's a pretty senior trader. So why do you think that such a person is interested to work with me? I've never worked for a financial institution. I've been always a, so to speak, home trader to learn technical trading. The reason is they understand that to be able to trade on fundamentals, you have a very long time horizon. So you, for example, buy value when the value is there, but timing the entry is very, very inaccurate. Well, you know, in technical trading, one of the things that we focus on is very accurate entries. So most of these fundamental traders have time cycles of several years, and they buy value and they scale into their positions. Most traders cannot do that. Most people do not have accounts that are large enough to accommodate that style of trading. And that means that you have to be more tactical and more precise with your entries. And because of that, your time horizon is short. Therefore, technical trading, which is what we teach here, is a generally better fit to the goals and possibilities that are in front of most traders.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to add something to this. We are at the end individual traders. So, and the best way that we can manage the trading business is focus in one thing. This is technicals that provide us the timing and a good way to manage the risk. And from what I have seen from day traders that may use fundamentals, they are used to be a team. So there is one risk manager, there is one guy taking care of the macro for the day, and then there is the one that it will execute, and the other one that will read the market. So by just knowing very well a discipline, we can manage to do all this business as alone, right?
And just one really quick comment to kind of elaborate even what Ali said. I have a actually close relationship with even someone who's been a financial advisor. And so in the US, those are people that manage people's, accounts and retirement accounts. And what's very interesting is he told me that even though he'll look at a chart and he'll think about fundamentals, he's looking at a price point. I'll never forget there was a stock, it was in 2020. I think it was Clorox looking back. They wanted to buy at $90 and they wanted to hold it for 3 years. And it was at $92 and they weren't willing to buy it. But fundamentally, they thought it was a great company. And one of the things he even explained to me is he would often have to tell his clients a fundamental reason as to why they're buying, even though they're buying it based on technicals. Because otherwise, people just want to hear the fundamentals. So a lot of people that even talk fundamentals, Al's absolutely right. I've seen it with financial advisors. They look, even though they talk about fundamentals, they look at technicals. And they'll speak on technicals, but they're really thinking on they'll speak on fundamentals, but they're thinking on technicals.
Yeah. Okay, we've got this is a super chat here, which is a bit of a surprise. But anyway, sadly, I mean, asking here, they can't afford to go to Orlando, but they would pay to rent the recording. But this renting the recording is the same as making it available for online viewing for life or whatever, isn't it? It's the same issue. It's still releasing the recording for somebody who hasn't been to the workshop. So at this point in time, I'm sorry to say, it's not something that we would consider, especially in this day and age of the, you know, encouraging the sort of maximize the value of the event itself. And we've had, if you look at our testimonials on the website, it is a valuable event just for networking. Some people enjoyed it just for the networking. And as you can see from what Thomas said on his video, we're all available for 4 days.
Absolutely.
Plenty of time to chat to any one of us. And that's what happened in the event last year, as you can see from the testimonials on the testimonials page, as well as on the Orlando workshop page. So I'm sorry to say that it's not likely we'll be able to even rent these things.
And just one comment with that, it actually is a really, it's a, for lack of words, fun experience to get to actually meet people in person. And you really, like, I've even developed, even in 2022 and 24, certain relationships with people I never knew just from talking to them at the conference, and we've kept in touch. And so there's that personal interaction that makes the event really special. And by just recording it and releasing it out, it loses that value.
To second that, that's very important. But also you will see that people who are trading and you're watching them, they are just like yourself. There's nothing like superhero or abnormal about them. They have just been in this business longer, and they have paid attention, and they have had their head in the game for a longer time. So they have developed the skills that are necessary to make it a consistently profitable and viable business to be in. And that, to me, that was very important as I was developing as a trader, and I really wanted to have access to, people who have been further along the road. And I never had that opportunity. So I think just being there and being able to talk to people and be around, traders who have achieved the goals that you want to achieve, that in itself is an important experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's find it. Where's the next one? Oh, this is because I've hit that super chat. It's jumped, and I need to find out where we were before. We've got one here on the. I'll post a comment now. This is myself here. This is for Ali. It must be right down the bottom. Okay, this is from the website. Ali, you talked about ATR earlier, so that's a question.
There's a difference between ATR and average bar range, or ABR, and the difference is in the definition of true range. So if you look at, just search it on the internet what ATR is. So ATR is average true range, and true range means if the bar gaps up, for example, that gap is part of the range of the bar. We're not looking at that gap. Average bar range is just what it is. You look at the absolute range of the bar, and you measure that, and you use that. ATR incorporates gaps into that measurement by measuring the true range and then averaging the true range. The difference for intraday trading is negligible because, typical gaps between two bars is about 1 tick on ES. So it doesn't really sway the measurement all that much. But if you are trading on higher time frames, and the gaps on those time frames, for example, in stocks, could be significant. Still, I would use the average bar range rather than average true range.
Yeah. Okay, I've got to go back and find the. We should be getting Al coming in soon because I'm just looking at the.
Richard, here's one for you.
Okay, Al's going to join us in 10 minutes' time. Okay.
Richard, I want to add to that question one. I missed the point that it was on that question. He was asking about the stop size and profit target size. We don't think about those things in absolutes, like the way the question was formed. Like, you know, how many average bar ranges for the stop, how many average bar ranges for the profit target, because a good trader adjusts that based on the chart that's in front of them. So there is no hard and fast rule. Trading is a very fluid activity. So you look at the market that's in front of you and you adjust your risk and targets based on the information that the chart is presenting to you. But generally for scalping, a trader that's scalping is taking higher probability trades. So the stop is always a wide stop, and the profit target is a smaller target compared to the stop. And what compensates for the lopsided risk to reward is probability. So you have three factors: probability of winning, probability of losing a trade, and then the distances. So when you take a smaller gain or a smaller profit compared to the size that you're risking, the only thing that makes that viable is a high win rate. And that's actually what scalping is. So taking higher probability trades that win most of the time, and by most I mean more than 80% of the time, and then going for a smaller profit compared to the actual distance to the stop that you require.
Okay. Brad, did you pop up something just previously?
Yeah, it's the last question for you.
Would you please describe what you'll be speaking about memory? Well, we haven't got time to talk about it now, really, but what I'm trying to say is that if you study psychology, I've been studying, most people study it over the years, for many years, all sorts of different traditions, and you tend to fit into one camp or another, or one therapy or another. It might be sort of Jungian analysis, or it might be transactional analysis, or it might be some kind of process. Well, recently, when I was referring to memory reconsolidation, when I say recent, in the last 20 years, and more recently in terms of actually results in the last 10 years, there's been a move towards this memory reconsolidation, which is actually a process which is common to all of these different processes trying to help people in therapy. And in terms of therapy, what we're talking about is people, the good example would be people in the wartime, PTSD. They come back, they're in a party, somebody pops a champagne cork, pop, and boom, they just react instantly because their memory bank has got a link to the event back in Vietnam or back in whatever.
It doesn't have to be a war to experience that. I can talk to it because when I was back in Iran was in a war with the neighboring country, Iraq. And we used to get, missiles and bombs dropped on Tehran every day, a couple of times. And you get shocked because you're, for example, doing something and suddenly there's a loud bang. And you know that, one of those things dropped just close to you. And both my wife and I, who have had that experience, still to this day, are a bit more jumpy than others when there are loud bangs. And that's just how it is ingrained in you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to fight in a war to have that experience. It can.
Oh no, that was just an example because people know about PTSD from the movies usually. But the point is that those memories that are embedded inside. Now, if Al and his wife went to a therapist, just your average therapist, shall we say, or just your normal therapist, they wouldn't be able to get rid of that issue. But with memory reconsolidation, what they're finding is there is a way to track in right down to that memory and change the memory. So it's like a computer drive. You're rewriting the memory. You're replacing what was on the disk with new memory. And that's basically what it is. But it's happening inside your head, of course. So when that loud bang comes, the reaction is, there's no reaction, or there's whatever you've programmed yourself to replace that sort of a thing with. So that's a small part of my presentation. But that's the latest science, and it's quite positive that it's going to take a few years, because you know what, psychiatrists and psychologists and traders, human beings, they're all got, you can say, fixed tracks. It's difficult to change. Changing of habits will take 28 days or 3 months or 4 months. But this is a process of making the change for real, and quite quickly as well. So that's what it is. Does that make sense? Anyway, maybe not.
Well, we have to see.
What? Talking of Iran, Ali, what, does that require an answer?
All right. Okay.
Or is that spam? Because you get lots of
This is
spam.
the version. I can read that. Okay, so he's asking about how to manage a trade after you have opened the trade. And he wants a video on that. Well, there's a lot of videos on it on our website. It's
Many videos.
yeah. So sure, but I'm going to try to do something more.
This might be a good question for Ali.
Okay, Dr. says that scalping is not. Yeah, that is actually one of the major differences in thinking that I have compared to Al, because most of the rest of it is kind of identical. But you know, in my experience, swing trading is very demanding. You have to be able to identify. I mean, I wish I could show a chart and talk on it. Can I
share if you want? If you want to share something.
Yeah, so let me find the chart and talk on the chart, because this question comes up all the time. It's important to show you, you know, what the information on the chart shows us. Okay, so let me just give me a second to find the chart.
Perhaps Al can answer this as well when he comes in, if he comes in soon.
All right, so here is, I guess I can share my screen here, right?
Yeah, hit the plus button, the plus. Plus.
Share screen. Okay, good.
And when it pops up, I will put it up.
Okay, entire screen, and that would be this one.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
All right, okay, good. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so that you can see the chart more than the other smaller charts on the side. By the way, this is a recent chart. This is from Thursday this week. So here's the problem. You are in this bear environment, and you see a bar that looks fairly strong, like 20, 22 here, 12, 22, 29, 33, 40, 50, okay? Any one of these bars are good-looking bull bars, 60. So why should the market reverse at this point on bar 60 and not really give you a swing trade on any one of these other bars? You know, that is the challenge, because, you know, when you're taking a swing trade, you're really taking a low probability trade. Most swing trades are low probability by their nature. So a swing trader is betting that they are going to take this bar, for example, and risk the range of the bar by buying with the stop above the bar and putting a stop loss below the low of the bar and going for 2 times the risk. Well, the market didn't give you 2 times that risk here. So it went up to 1 times and it changed and then reversed and hit that stop. Same with this one. All of them have that issue. So why should bar 60 be different than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other good-looking bars? So why should this one work and none of the others work? That is the problem with swing trading. So being able to put your finger on a bar that looks pretty much like the other ones or sometimes even not as strong as the previous ones, and say, this is the bar that's going to be the start of a swing, and all the other ones are not, is a fairly advanced skill set. So that's one of the problems. The other problem is managing these trades means you have to sit in a pullback to capture the second leg and often get to that 2 times your initial risk. Most traders cannot do that. As soon as they see a bear bar, they're afraid that, okay, this bar 63 is going to be like 42 or 56 or any one of these other bear bars that ran my stop. So they cannot hold through a bear bar to get to their 2 times their risk.
Mhm.
Being able to do all of those things, so understand the context well enough to be able to filter for high probability bars that could be the start of a swing, means you understand market cycle and context of the chart very well. Most beginners cannot do that. Being able to sit through pullbacks and bet that any one of these good-looking bear bars are not going to work for the bears is another fairly advanced skill. So those things make swing trading very difficult for beginners. A professional can do that. They have the experience and the knowledge to identify these bars differently, give them different probability values. But you know, it's fairly easy to see a strong first bar and look for a scalp that's about the equal size and get a second leg. You know, any one of these bear legs have been good for a second leg trade. Here, even here, you know, you see this one, buying below 42 is a low probability, low one short. There was a scalp there, that tail was that scalp. So it's a lot easier to detect momentum and look for a second leg and just take a scalp than do all of this work or analysis that's required to filter for high probability buy situations or sell situations that can be the start of a swing. And that's why I think for a beginner, just looking for small profits, small scalps, and looking for a strong first legs to find the second leg is probably the easiest way to become consistently profitable. And in the process of that, then you can develop the skills that are necessary for swing trading or trend following intraday.
Okay, Ali, well, it's good timing for Al to come online because, hello, Al. Yeah, this question was asked just before you came in. The distinction between the advice in the Books Trading course about looking for swing trades for beginners and this question saying that Ali, as he's just explained to us, is the reasoning behind why he prefers scalps for beginners. Do you have any comment, Al, on that?
Yes, I do. I think most traders have the best chance of becoming consistently profitable if they look for swing trades. But everybody is going to scalp. Even a swing trader scalps. Most of the trades that a swing trader takes will not lead to swing trades, and that means you'll be scalping. So everybody needs to learn how to scalp. But I think the best way for most traders to become consistently profitable is to focus on the major swings, the trends, because they're going to last a couple hours and you have the best chance of making 2, 3, 4 times your risk. But the truth is, you know, since most swing trades don't continue as swings, you need to know how to scalp because you'll be converting your swing trade into a scalp. Also, a lot of traders, you know, Ali and me, you know, I don't know about Tim and Brad and Tom. Hang on a second. You know, a lot of traders, they just see stuff all day long. And, you know, the way I've described it in the past is if someone is holding out a bag with a few gold coins in it and you're not doing anything, you know, I'm going to take those few gold coins. So, yeah, I'm waiting for a big swing trade, but if there's an obvious scalp for me to take, I'm going to scalp. You know, that day that Ali was just showing, there was a one gap on the way down, but after that gap, all the gaps closed. There were no body gaps, no gaps, and that tells you that bulls were making money buying on all the way down, and that made it unlikely that the bear trend was going to continue all day. So once I see that, if in a bear trend like that, if the bears don't get at least 2 obvious gaps early on in the trend, traders are going to start buying at a breakout to a new low, and they'll buy more lower. And since they're buying in a bear trend, they're scalping. So that's like I'm saying that a little guy's holding a little bag with gold coins in it, and you're not making a lot, but you're consistently making money. So I don't know if I'm being clear, but I think it's really much better for a person starting. Yeah, there's the guy with a little bag of money, and you can ignore him, or you can just take the money, and then he'll give you more money. And at the end of the day, if he does it 5 or 10 times, you'll have a lot of money. And most of my money, and probably Ali's as well, comes from guys like this handing us little bags of money.
Well, for a very long time, I was thinking, all right, Al is talking about this little guy that he sees, and he's holding out the little bag of gold. And if you remember, the very first time I met you in Vegas, on the way back from your presentation to the elevator, you were telling me that you see this little guy holding out the bag of gold. And for several years after that, I was wondering, so why don't I see this guy? So when Al is talking about he's seeing him all the time, but I don't see him until things started to click. And then you see him all the time, and he's like around every bar almost on the chart.
That is absolutely true. Every bar during the day, there's a bag of gold in one direction or the other. Sometimes in both directions, if you can use a wide stop, scale in, and scalp. By the way, Tom is going to be a real great addition to what we're doing, because he's kind of a gunslinger. He used to be a floor trader long ago, and plus he's going to be trading large size. I think he's going to be trading hedge fund size of positions. I think he's going to be trading like 50 contracts. So he's going to be adding really good variety to what we're doing. And also, Tom loves to talk. So when he's trading, he's going to be talking constantly. And the last time we did this, last workshop, I went in with the thought that I'm going to behave on stage the way I behave when I'm trading at home, which is very quiet. And I think it's much better if I talk. So this time around, I'm going to be talking throughout the time that I'm trading. And so I'll be talking as I'm taking trades, as I'm evaluating trades, instead of just sitting there quietly. I want to make sure that everybody's spending a lot of money to be there, and I want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. And I think Ali's going to be talking more. Tim's going to be talking, and Richard's going to talk, and Tom is going to talk a lot. Tom is going to be a really fun addition, and he's going to be trading in a way that you have never seen before. You've never seen a hedge fund type of trader, trade 50 E-mini contracts in and out throughout the day. And then he also keeps his eye on other markets, and he'll be just taking quick positions in other markets as well. So I think it's going to be a really good workshop. Also, we're all going to be there all the time, for questions or just any kind of general conversations. So, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And I think this time it's going to be extra special because of how we're handling it. The format's going to be different.
Mm. Thanks, Al. Yeah. Well, this is how's the babysitting going?
Well,
I told everyone you were busy, and that's why you're coming in on the phone, because you're busy. You're a grandfather and you're babysitting.
I just took my 2-year-old granddaughter and my 3-year-old grandson to the grocery store. We walked to the grocery store, and I just got back. and they're watching Mickey Mouse in the other room, and I'm going to go watch Mickey Mouse with them in a few minutes. But it's really cool, you know. In the morning, they're in their rooms, and you know, I'll hear Grandpa Al, come get me. So it's really cool. So they call me in the morning. I change I get them up. I change their diapers. I dress them. I feed them. I play with them. It's just really cool. You know, I never imagined that at this point in my life I would never have such an intimate relationship with young people again. But it's been absolutely amazing. It's been it's I just can't describe how wonderful it is and how much it enriches my life. It's just really, really good.
It's nice. Okay, one last question for them before you go out. This is talking about you're saying you're going to do more talking, and I think that the answer to this is yes, obviously. Please talk about what you're thinking about.
Well, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much every bar I'll be saying something. You know, do I think there's a scalp going down? Do I think there's a scalp going up? And is there a swing? Is it currently in a swing? If it's in this, like that day Friday that Ali was just showing, if you exit above a bull bar, you have to get short again below a bear bar closing near a slow, especially one near the moving average. Or you simply sell any strong bull bar near the moving average because you're going to bet that the reversal up is going to fail. So, I'll be talking. There are so many things that happened in that channel on Friday. I love strong bear breakouts that do not form gaps. And I love taking limit order scalps, buying new lows or selling strong bull bars near the moving average. So, we're talking about that little guy holding out money. There were so many little bags of gold available that you just take as many as you can. And when I look at even after doing this 40 years now, when I look at it, I just can't believe it's there all the time. It's going to be there forever and ever and ever. It's just there. And if you see it, you just grab it. Also, as far as scalping goes, every day, even in a bear trend like yesterday, there's going to be some good stop entry buy scalp. So if you sit there patiently, you just wait for the market to be at the low, at a new low, turning up, and for a bull bar closing near its high. A lot of opportunities.
Okay, thanks, Al. Well, I don't know if this is worth. Al also talked about traders' personality and context. So there is no one size fits all, right?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the big advantages of this workshop. You're going to be having a group of traders with very different styles. I'm a discretionary. Well, we're all discretionary traders, but Ali has indicators that he uses. So you have an indicator trader. Tom is mostly a momentum type trader, and he's trading big size, and it's kind of a gunslinger approach. And then I look for swing trades, but in a situation like this, probably most of what I'll be doing is scalping. And at times I'll get tired and I'll trade less. At other times, I'll trade more. And in the final 2 hours, I would say 90% of days will have at least one or two easy scalps, high probability scalps. So I'll make sure to point those out. A lot of times you get good scalps all day long, but even if you miss everything all day long and there are only a couple hours left in the day, you really should focus hard because you just know there's going to be a high probability trade, a high probability scalp, and you need high probability scalps, but there'll be one that's 70 or 80%. So if I'm in the room, if I'm on stage trading at that time, I'll mention it. And even if I'm not, even if it's somebody else's turn to trade and I'm walking around, I'll interrupt and point out something like that. You got to find, you got to find a style of trading that suits your personality. And you're going to have several personalities trading, and you'll see different things, different ways of trading. You have to find something that's comfortable. If you're going to be doing, I've been doing this now for 40 years. If you're going to be doing this a long time, you have to make sure that you're comfortable. You can't be stressed out all the time. You can't be worried all the time. And you can't be thinking, oh, I'm going to do this just this one time and then I'll go back to my normal way. That's not the way you're going to do it. You have to have fun. Trading or any career, you do any career for two things, for profit and for fun. And, back in the 1970s, 1980s, when I was an eye surgeon, I was making an incredible profit, but I was not having fun. And I just knew that something wasn't right. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. It was boring. Everything was the same every day. There was no intellectual challenge. And I just felt like, I don't like this. Also, I had patients coming in all the time with these horrible, horrible problems. And not just problems with their eyes, but problems with their lives. They're alone, they're sad, they got all kinds of medical problems. And I felt bad for everybody all the time. And if I'm feeling bad, that's bad. Some people, it suits their personality to get involved with the lives of all these people. They're called social workers. And I don't have that kind of personality. So there are a lot of things about being in medicine that I just concluded that that's not how I should be living my life. Yes, I was making a lot of money. And yes, a lot of people got mad at me when I left medicine. But, it was the right thing to do. I had to be both happy and making money. And so I had to change careers, and now I have both. Now I make a lot of money, and I'm really happy. So, for me, it was the right thing to do. So your personality is important, and context, not just in your style of trading, scalping, swing trading, fading, trading with the trend, against the trend, but in everything that you do, you have to be happy in life. So whatever career you have, you should only do it if it's enjoyable.
Okay, good. Thanks, Al. Well, you better get back to, is it Mickey Mouse you said they're watching in the back room there?
Yes, we're watching Mickey Mouse, so I'm going to go back. I can hear something.
Bugs Bunny these days? Is Bugs Bunny?
I just heard one of them say, "Where's Grandpa Al?" So I'm going to go back over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Al. See you in Orlando.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was good. That went on a bit longer than expected, which is nice. Yeah. There's quite a few questions here for Al, but of course it's not possible in the time to get them all in. And Al was only supposed to be coming in for 10, 15 minutes. And managed about 20 nearly, so we've done okay there. I think we can catch some of these questions for Al later as well, for a podcast later with Al, because we're well overdue for a podcast. So we've got another 10 or so minutes left. Where are we now? There was a question. There's one here for Ali again.
Yeah, sure.
Let me just put it into the. This is off the website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where is it here? Oh, sorry. There it is. Two questions for Ali. Would there be working materials associated with the presentation? No. Well, I can answer that one, but not as the same. Last year was different. Ali did a very comprehensive, detailed sort of workout, which is not part of this year. And then,
Last year we had a workbook because I wanted to,
yeah.
Based on my experience from 2022, I was talking and I was looking at the audience and seeing some people are not in the room. Really, they are there, but their mind is not there. So to capture everybody's mind, I thought maybe a workbook can help. And so last year we did that, but last year I had a lot more time to present, and this year I just have one time slot. So it's really not practical to do that same thing in the times that I have this year. So we're not going to do it that way.
Okay, and asking about SA2, will there be a discount? Would there be? Oh, it's in two messages. Would there be a discount as it did in the past?
Well, in the past two Orlando conferences, I was one of the organizers. This year I'm not. I'm just a speaker. So that those incentives are not going to be there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to find some. Any questions we've missed there at the moment, Brad? This one here for you, Brad. Do you know what this means? Will you make your own flowchart available after your
Yeah, I'm
session?
going to make some flowcharts to present.
Yeah. Okay, yes. And this is a general one on Forex. Completed
Yeah,
the course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sure, I can answer it. So I've been someone said they've been failing to trade Forex for a while and they've completed the course. What should they do? They're probably trying to trade Forex the same way they would trade the 5-minute chart of the E-mini, which is what I tried to do. And I had a really hard time doing it. And that's because most of the time the range is too small for a minimum scalp. And what I found that was really helpful was going to a higher time frame. Treat Forex more as a chart. And you'll probably have an easier time.
Okay. How many seats will be available? Is there a limit? Well, yes, there's always a limit to any room that we can fit in. Currently, we're working on the same number of seats as last year, and that was 140 people. And we do have a bigger room this year, so if we do get to overflow status, we can take another 2 rows, 1 or 2 rows. And that's one of the reasons, again, why we need bigger screens, because we want to make sure that the existing 7 rows, as it is for last year, the people at the back and the people sitting at the back of the room, because we have tables at the back of the room, and some people just like to sit right at the back for some reason, and we want people to be able to see clearly. So we're going to make sure that people can see clearly at the back. So if we do get a good sales and we do exceed last year, we've got room for another 20, 30 people in the back. Not in the back, but additional rows, I mean. And then, again, just remember what I said at the start. I saw a message they were referring to Ali, not the course or not the workshop. But we do have as I said, an early bird price until the end of this month. And if you've been to the 2022 or the 24, there's an additional 10% discount to get a ticket for this year. So give that some thought before it's too late if you're interested in going. And this is a general question. This was for, oh no, it wasn't for Al, it's Abdullah. This is a very common question, but if you go to the website and in the search box go how long profitable, you'll get Al's answer to this, and then I'll do that anyway.
Well, I can answer that question.
Can I pick it up? Just okay. Yeah, I'll find it.
At least. So that is a question that actually my wife asked me several years ago when I was in my development stage, because I was not working. So I left my career in IT and I was basically in the same room trading and studying and trying to become better. And it took forever. So one day she very politely asked me, well, how long do you think it's going to take? And my answer was, well, honestly, I don't know. because I'm doing my best. And it's like asking an artist, somebody who's trying to become an artist, to say, well, when do you think you're going to have your big art exhibition and start selling painting for $100,000 a piece? And then I said, well, I don't know. I'm going to try my best, but it's going to take whatever time it takes. Trading is very much like art in that respect, because there is a lot of variety in the charts that you see, and that makes a difference between trading as something that's more scientific, like engineering, for example, that everything is going to behave exactly in the same manner if you repeat them in the exact same way. In trading, things are not that precise. So being able to, have that exposure and get used to it, and having seen all of these nuances of the same things, those are important. So that's part of the experience that you have to build to be able to become a good trader. And people also are different. Some people learn faster, some people learn slower. I was one of the slow learners myself, but I've had the students who went from beginner to resigning their careers. And by resigning, I mean a 6-figure salary within less than 2 years. So for me, it took something around 7 years. So where you are between that 2 year as a fast learner, or like me as a slow learner, 7 years, nobody knows. You just have to engage and be the best learner that you can be, trusting that trading is within the possibilities of human activity. So if somebody can do it, you can do it too. But it's just that it's not like going to a university or a class and know when the graduation is going to be. It's going to be, for example, 4 years, you're going to have a bachelor's degree and you can start a career. It's not like that. Becoming a trader is more like starting a PhD course. You know when the start date is, but the end date depends on how well you can satisfy your professor that you have become a true expert. So you have to do your research, submit your thesis, defend your thesis, answer the panel of professors' questions to their satisfaction, that then they can give you your graduation and your degree as a PhD. So trading is very much like that. There is no set graduation date, and it is based on the person themselves. Further than that, you have probably seen a lot of in the scientific world that when somebody graduates with a postdoctorate degree, for example, they don't see themselves as an expert. They still want to do a lot of research and follow their passion, basically. Trading is like that too. Even when you're consistently profitable, you will at that point you will still see a lot of stages further ahead of you that you want to achieve them. And that's what makes trading fun, because there's no ceiling. Basically, you can go as far as you want. So everybody is hung up on, just tell me when I'm going to be able to make money in trading. Okay? That's not the correct approach. The correct approach is, I want to learn market behavior. I want to learn to read the charts properly. And knowing that if I can do that, there is no force in the world that can prevent me from making money. So the focus has to shift from tell me when I can make money to tell me what to learn so that I can get to that point in my own time. Right?
Okay, yeah, we're running quite short. We've only got a minute left on the original 2-hour timeline, so just 2 or 3 more questions. There's a couple of questions that I can probably just read them out and just talk about them. But Joseph, it's a question on crypto. What time frame is recommended to train on crypto? Does that make sense, that one? And the other question for you here is, are you trading Bitcoin itself live?
Sure. So for most of the cryptocurrencies, you have to higher the time frame, because the quality of the volume or the market mechanics, be it doesn't make reliable to trade a short time frame chart. If you go into the books, you will see that the bars are formed without a proper price discovery between buyers and sellers. So there is not a high quality to trade cryptocurrencies that way. One way the traders mitigate this problem, it is to hide the time frame. So you go to a 4-hour chart, you go to a daily chart. Now, we are going to talk about Bitcoin because it's a different market. Bitcoin is one thing different than the others. So nowadays there is a lot of sophistications for this product, and it is traded by institutions around, and many institutions are benefiting by just doing market making business with there. So it is a very reliable price action for us on short time frame. Then, if I'm going to trade Bitcoin live in the workshop, I'm not trading Bitcoin live in the workshop.
Okay. I'll read out some of these quickly. Is there a link to join the course? Just go to the website. Go to the website. There's a link in the right-hand side in the sidebar. Buy the course, and then the same for the workshop. All the information is on the website. Do people bring a laptop to the workshop? Yes, there are a lot of laptops, but like Ali said, be wary of losing focus and losing attention and not getting the maximum value out of the workshop itself. Many people do bring a laptop, but they do shut it down, I notice as well. They get tired of it and just focus on what's being said. Will there be an event like Orlando in Los Angeles in the future? I don't think so. I did try to set up in Las Vegas this time for a change, and the cost was 5 to 10 times just to get a venue. And that's before we get the ridiculously high. It's changed. It's expensive to stay in hotels as well. So it wouldn't make sense to try and run a workshop at this price, keeping the price down in Los Angeles or in Las Vegas.
Sorry to interrupt you, Richard, but I have to attend to another appointment.
Yeah, I think we need to shut down. I'm looking at the numbers. We've still got 226 online plus YouTube, so there's still an audience there. But we better wrap up within 5 minutes anyway.
So if you don't
thank you, Ali,
to say goodbye and see you.
Yeah, thanks so much for
Ali,
your input, and I'll see you in Orlando. All right, won't be long.
Bye, Ali.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So I suppose because we've got so many questions, I'll keep a note of these questions, and then we can try and answer them. And the people can go to the website, to the forum, and the forum is open for this topic to anybody, members or not. So anybody who's not a Brooks Trading Course member can still enter a question on the forum. So again, so go over there. I've lost the page. Share the screen. Oh. This was the I'm going to the forum here. So in the forum at the top here, Orlando Live Trading Workshop, and then here you can drop the questions in that we haven't got to here, and we'll follow those up there. And again, as I said before, go back to the blog itself. This will be taken down tonight when we finish, because the event is over, and I will put this back on the top. This is the workshop information, so you can review all of this, and then you can, as I said before, you can see what it looks like. Pretty much the same. You get a good feel from these pictures here, what it looks like. Okay, and I've got one last video, which is 1 minute from Al, which is basically inviting you to join us. But then again, whoops, I'm looking at the comments. Is there any urgent comments? Shall we wrap up by, do you want to just say a few words, Brad, before you leave, and Joseph?
Yeah, the big thing is, I think there's what's going to help people the most about the conference is probably, one, it's going to be valuable information, but also getting to meet people there and the confidence of just seeing the traders trading on stage.
Yeah.
One of the things that, looking back, I really appreciated the time in the past was getting to be able to listen to Al in the trading room for such a long period of time. I mean, basically every day for years. But I would have loved, as Ali said, I would have loved the opportunity to actually go to an event and actually watch Al trade live. And by being in the trading room, listening to Al, over time, I was able to gather that, hey, what he says makes sense. And so for a lot of people, there's a lot of people that question, is it possible? Can I do this? Is this really is this just a dream, or is this an actual possibility? And I believe going to the event will help with that. But the biggest thing, like with anything, you can go to the event. I saw people at the event last year who were on Facebook while the presenters were talking, and you're going to get exactly what you put out of the event. So if you go and you really pay attention, then you're going to get something out of it. And if you think that this event's just going to change your life just because you buy a ticket and show up, it's not going to. So it's all about the effort. But the people that have gone in the past who really studied the material, they got a lot out of it. And I want to reiterate one thing that Tom said. We're all going to be there, and obviously we want everyone to enjoy the event and get their money's worth and be happy from the event. And so you feel free, if we're to talk to us anytime you're there, if we're ever in the hotel, is out. Everyone's just feel free to. It's really enjoyable. I love talking to people at the event, and it's really fun to meet people. So don't be shy.
On that topic, it was great last year, especially that you couldn't walk far without being stopped for questions. Actually, I remember many times saying, "Well, I must go out and go to the toilet." You get outside the door and there's somebody as though they're waiting for you to leave, and it's very, very busy, very busy. A lot of networking. It's a lovely environment. Yeah. Any words, Joseph? Do you want to say a few words?
I think everything is have been said. So just that I want to join you there and enjoy this beautiful experience.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Joseph. Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait to finally meet you.
Yeah. And there is a comment to answer that somebody missed the first half of this. It is being recorded. It'll be on the website, and it's also running live on YouTube as well, where most of these comments are coming from, actually. And so it'll be on our YouTube live channel there, so you'll be able to catch it there. And then, so I better close now. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks, Ali, who's left us.
Thanks, everyone, for your time and listening to us.
I'm going to play out this Al video to end. Where are we now? So just hold on for 1 minute and we'll close.
Hi, everyone. I'm Al Brooks, and I hope to see you in Orlando in October for our workshop. Now, why should you come to the workshop? I think the single most important thing that you'll get from it is an opportunity to watch experienced traders spend a day trading or a day and a half trading. See how they manage good trades, see how they manage bad trades, see how they act when nothing is happening at all and they're simply waiting. And you'll also have an opportunity to talk to us throughout the day. I think it'd be a very valuable opportunity to see what professional traders do during the day, and also see that there's nothing magical and that you too can do exactly what we're doing. Anyway, I hope to see you in October in Orlando.
Okay, thank you, Al. I think Al summarized that quite well, the things we were just talking about, Brad and Joseph. Yeah. Okay, so there are a lot of people saying thanks and logging off now. So thank you to everybody. And join us later in the month. Those that have registered already will be invited. You'll be put on the mailing list automatically for the workshop, and you'll get emails from us with the appropriate information for coaching and also for a back to basics, down to basics kind of webinar, much like some of what today has been, answering basic price action, just to make people comfortable, get them comfortable with, with price action before they come to the workshop. So thanks everybody, and see you again soon, and look forward to meeting some of you, or 197 there still now. So let's say at least 100 of you. We won't be able to get 100 in, but a good bunch of you. Look forward to seeing you in Orlando. Okay.
Thanks everyone for your time.
Thank you. All the best, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All the best.